G'day guys, and welcome back to Supercoach with GnR. For today's video, I thought I'd talk a little bit about how to structure our Supercoach teams going into 2020. And I'll be discussing, in my opinion, what I think is probably the three main structures that we can go with. Now this is probably intended more for the newer players to Supercoach rather than the seasoned veterans, but I'll start off by saying I don't think there is a right way or a wrong way to structure our Supercoach teams. Our preferred structures may even change from year to year depending on what options are available on each line. So I'll discuss each structure and then show you an example about what each team may look like. Right, so the first structure we'll take a look at here is the GnR structure. I'm not talking about Guns N' Roses, my favourite band of all time, but I'm referring to the Guns and Rookies structure. Basically, we're selecting the best of the best, the most elite players from every line, along with some bargain basement rookie options. It's generally the less risky approach, but you are exposing more untried rookies that are starting on the field, and we generally stay away from the high-priced rookie options such as, your Rows, your Andersons, and your Youngs when we're using the Guns and Rookies approach. So let's have a look at the sample team that I've made here. We've got three guns at the back in Lloyd, Hooley, and Williams. Pretty tantalising midfield here. McRae, Cripps, Dunkley, Mitchell and Danger. Grundy and Gawn in the rucks, no messing about there. And then Whitfield, Walters and Martin. So basically all the players that I just mentioned, we can be pretty confident that they'll give us some pretty elite scores going in from week to week in their positions. The issue is we've got three rookies that are starting in our back lines, three in the midfield, which I think's pretty standard. I'm even looking to start possibly 4 this year, depending on which structure I end up going with. Grundy and Gawn, as we said, no mucking around there. And then the three rookies in our forward line. So we're actually starting with 9 rookies on field. So if we're going with the Guns and Rookies approach, it's really, really important to make sure that the rookies you've actually got starting on field have A, good job security, and B, good scoring potential. That's really, really important when we're looking at a structure like the Guns and Rookies. As I said, it's probably the most popular structure amongst super coaches, but it's actually not my preferred structure. Well, for this year anyway. I'll talk about my preferred structure in a minute. Alright, so the next structure we're going to have a look at here is what's known as a mid-price madness structure. High risk, yet high reward. Now, we can afford to have less rookies on the field, but generally we won't see too many of the highest averaging players on each line. Now firstly, I'd consider a mid-price player to be a player probably priced between around 225 to 475k. And some people's opinions may differ on that. Some may say more between your 200k to 500k range, but that's the basic price range that I'd associate with the mid-price option. Now this structure could also be described as a value for money approach. We look for fallen premiums, breakout contenders, or basically anyone that you think may be underpriced, or anyone that presents a little bit of value. But as I said, it tends to lack those real high-end priced premium players. We can afford to sprinkle some in the side, but generally not many. So let's have a quick look through this side that I've just come up with now. Starting in the back line, we've got Sicily, Burne-Jones, Mills, Doherty, Robertson, and Hill. So Sicily I'd count as a premium option. Burne-Jones and Mills probably breakout contenders, although, Burne-Jones had a pretty solid year last year. Doherty, a fallen premium. Same could be argued with Robertson. And Hill, I don't think's ever been a real elite Supercoach scorer, but at 190,000, he's one of those players that we look at for value. And I'd much rather start with someone like a Hill, pay a little bit more for him, rather than start with a first-year player. I know that Hill's got his injury concerns, but that's a different conversation. Just to get the gist of what I'm saying anyway. I'll use him as an example. Onto the midfield. Now, we have a little bit of firepower here in Fife and Oliver. So again, I'm not saying with the mid-price madness that every single player you have to select must be between that, 250 to, let's say, 500k mark. You can sprinkle some of those price players around like I have here with Fife and Oliver. We then look at Callum Ward, Hugh McCluggage, Joel Selwood, who some may say is good value there at 465k. Wayne Miller as a possible breakout option. Benny Jacobs from North, back after being injured last year. And we do have a rookie there, but it's Matt Rao, who was the #1 selection from this year, and someone that I think everyone will be starting this year, or 90% of the sides will probably be starting. Looking to the ruck, so we don't have Grundy or Gawn. We've gone with Nick Nat, who we know can score well if he's on the park. We've gone with Sam Jacobs, who, as we know, got pushed out by Rob at the Crows last year and now finds himself at GWS, possibly with some more opportunity. We've also whacked Luke Jackson on the bench there from Melbourne at close to 200k. I think, what was he, number 3 in the draft. Onto the forward line, we've got Heaney, who's been a pretty proven performer without, breaking into elite status because he hasn't spent that full time in the midfield yet. We've got Buddy Franklin, Blake Acres, who's a possible breakout contender. Really like him this year, by the way. Jack Stephen, a fallen premium. Same could be said with Dev Smith. And then we've got Nakia Cockatoo. I was going to say from the Cats. Somehow he's traded himself to the Roos there. Roos supporters would love that. Probably a great spot for young Marnie there, who I basically know nothing about. But as you can see, we don't have, your Lockie Neals, your McRae's in the forward line. We don't have our Whitfields and, our Walters. But we've still got players who have the potential to score well. And again, not many rookies starting on field. But where's that firepower? That's what concerns me with the mid-price selections. Now on to the third structure, and this is actually the structure that I'm going with this year. This is the current version of my side, actually. So I've got those elite premium players. I've tried to look for a little bit of value, a couple of breakout contenders possibly, a couple of the high-priced rookie players, and then some of your lower-priced bargain basement players sitting on the bench there. So I'll start off in the back line. We've got Daniel, who's a proven performer. Houston as that breakout contender. Doherty and Robertson as fallen premiums. Hill, as I said before. Gould, who I think can make an impact in his first year at Sydney due to his size. I think he should be a pretty safe starting selection. But again, we'll have to see the teams come round 1. Rivers there, and I've got no idea how to say this fella's name. I've just sort of whacked him in as a random rookie there without having done too much research on the rookies so far. Into the midfield, got Lockie Neal, Josh Kelly, Paddy Cripps, Josh Dunkley as the 4 absolute premiums. Then we've got Jack Stephen, who's a bit of a mid-price option there. Also got that DPP swing as well with Stephen. Rao as a high-price rookie. McHenry and Pickett, both heard really good things about, and I think they should be pretty safe starting selections at this stage, as I said, without having done too much research. Bianco, Hibbard, and North rounding out the bench. Haven't messed around the rucks there, gone Grundy and Gorm. And then in the forward line, I've gone with 3 guns in Whitfield, Martin, and Heaney. A value pick in Dev Smith. A rookie-priced option player in Cockatoo, paying a little bit more than your 117 to 123. But again, I think this guy's really talented and can make a big impact when he's back on the side. Isaac Rankin there, very, very safe starting selection in my opinion. And then another couple of rookies there. So why do I like this approach? Because you've got a bit of everything, right? You've got some of the cheaper rookies, the more expensive rookies. You've got some breakout options. You've got some value, and you've also got those real premium selections that you can rely on from week to week to score well on your side. So at a quick look, I'd probably say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 absolute premiums. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players who I think could possibly all be keepers. So that's 10 to 15 if you want to look at it that way. But I really think that the players I've selected in your Houstons, your Doctors, your Robertsons, etc. can be in the top 10 in their position come the end of the year for averages. So that's the Bitza side. And as I said, probably my most preferred structure. And this is actually my current team as it sits, version about 10 of I don't know how many. So I hope I've given you a little bit of info there on the different sort of structures that you can employ looking into 2020. Any comments, please leave them down the bottom. Appreciate all the feedback I've been getting as well. Thanks for all the love, guys. I hope this helps, particularly those players that are just looking to start out their Supercoach career. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.